unstoppable kick-ass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted Show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na-na-na-na. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted Show with yours truly, Christopher Rausch, the place where I help you overcome the self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Thank you once again for being here. We're always here 7 p.m. Tuesday nights, always Raw and Unscripted here on the channel. And if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, this is actually a live video cast, something I do every single week. It's broadcast on YouTube, it's broadcast on LinkedIn, and it's broadcast on Facebook. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're catching this on the replay, we appreciate you being here. Whether you're live or on the replay, we always appreciate your comments, your live engagement, your questions in the conversation. And tonight is no different. Tonight, it's actually just going to be me, myself, and I. It's the Raw and Unscripted Show with Christopher Rausch. No guest tonight. Just an opportunity for you and I to chit chat, just you and I to have a conversation. So again, if you're watching this on the replay, any of your comments, I go back and I check those and I answer those questions. So let's just have a candid conversation tonight. Truth be told, I'm a little under the weather. I'm a little tired. If you guys follow me on social media, you guys know I just went camping for 4 days, had an amazing time, great time with my family, unplugged, didn't really check social media, didn't post on social media that much, just a couple of pictures, and just got a chance just to get away with my family. And in doing so, had some inflammatory foods, had some inflammatory drinks. If you guys know me, if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you guys know I just did 75 hard over the summertime. Got my body into great shape, and then went and screwed it all up by eating sugar and bread and drinking beer and having Jack Daniels and having all those little things that cause your body to get inflamed. So my pain has been a little bit more, my congestion, everything else has been a little bit more. So I probably won't be as excitable as I usually am, but I'm always going to be here for you guys. What's up, Jordan? Jordan Michael Thomas in the house. What's up? He's in the Raw and Unscripted house. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Looking forward to meeting you on Thursday. Jordan lives here in Southern California in Riverside, so he is asked to have a personal meeting with me, and I love meeting people who I meet you guys on social media, so it'll be a good conversation to have to meet in person. I just did that recently. I met with Raquel. And of course, I met with my buddy Scott, who's been out here, and I'm excited to meet each and every one of you. So if there's an opportunity in 2022, if you're in a position of influence where you work for an organization that maybe hires professional speakers or trainers, or you belong to an organization that does hire them, please consider me. 2022, kick-ass unstoppable. So anyways, let's get into the meat and the bones of this show tonight. So what did I talk about tonight? I think I labeled this foundation resetting. So at the time of this broadcast, it is November 9th, 2021. So whether you're listening to this live now or listening to this later on down the road, it's 2021. And the reason why I really thought about foundation resetting is because we've been through a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. We've been through a lot of stuff since the beginning of March last year in 2020. We know that's when COVID was, kind of officially was brought into the foray. And here in the United States, we went on lockdown. And then we had a lot of different stuff. We had the elections. We had the murder of George Floyd. We've had a lot of different things going on in our life. So we've had some major opportunities for us to reset. But here's the reason why I thought about it again here in November, thinking about all the conversations that I had last year at this time. I mean, I'd had lots and lots of conversations, and most of them consisted of, man, 2020 sucked and we were on lockdown and all this other stuff. And it made me realize this and it made me realize that. And, 2021 is going to be my year. 2021 is going to be my year. And granted, I coached with a few of those people. So of course, 2021 was their year. What's up, Angels? Good to see you. Good to see you here. Scott Goyette, he goes, shake and bake. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you being here. So we know we went through a lot of different stuff. Angels in the house. Thank you so much for being here. She says, hey, Scott. And we know that last year people were saying, 2021 is going to be my year. And then I've talked to people this year and I'm like, what's going on? 2021 has not been their year. And I wonder why. Why is it that we could go through so much shit in our life, make a promise, a supposed promise to ourselves that this is going to be the best year of our life, and yet go through the same patterns, the same old beliefs, and wind up in the same spot here again? And I've heard people saying, 2022 is going to be my year. I needed this year to do this. And they come up with all different excuses. And I am one of them. Ladies and gentlemen. The one thing you're always going to get with Christopher Rausch is transparency and authenticity and honesty. And I think about my journey I think about it actually because it's only been a couple of days since the second anniversary of me leaving corporate back on November 7th of 2019, leaving corporate and saying adios, and thinking about the different things that have gone on in my life, and thinking about where I should be, and judging myself based on that, and thinking about, okay, what have been my excuses? Would have been the things that have held me back over the last couple of years. And, it really is about breaking those beliefs and breaking those old patterns. And so tonight I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about how we can reposition our perspective about the past, present, and the future. How can we become more aware and take action in the situations in our life so that we can actually change the trajectory of our life and become more informed and become more aware of what truly is our priority in life. And I think that's one of the big situations that I talk to with people is that we tend to get overwhelmed by having so many different priorities in our life. And Scott says here, he goes, yes, we were pulled out of the driver's seat. We were out of the driver's seat, pulled off autopilot. Absolutely. And he says, just do it. You can make it happen and create. So thank you, Scott, for being here, brother. I appreciate that. Got Melody Johnson in the house. She says, Christopher, hope you are well today. I am. I'm a little under the weather. I'm feeling a little bit kind of but I explained that just a few minutes ago that I just am drinking and I've been eating a lot of bad stuff. And after 75 hard and being so healthy, you really can notice that difference. You really can notice that difference. So Angel says 100. So when we think about this, it's an opportunity for us right now to do a reset. And wherever you're at in your journey, it's truly about becoming aware where you're at, accepting where you're at, and then taking action where you're at. I call it the AAA threat. So the first thing is to become aware of where it is that we're at. So here in November 29, where are you at? What are you creating right now in your life? Are you creating opportunities? Or are you creating excuses? Are you creating opportunities for being a victim, or are you creating opportunities to be a victor? And a lot of that really stems from going back to the basics. What are the basics? What are your values, right? Think about what it is last time that you actually took pen to paper and wrote down what it is that you value the most. For me right now, I value freedom. I value the freedom to be me. I value the freedom to be me and say who it is that I want and who I want to be. I want the freedom of being able to go where I want and just have that freedom. Just have that freedom of being and having that inner peace, because for so long in my life, my value was placed on financial abundance and material possessions. So, and also anything that was egoic that got me to be elevated in the eyes and the perspectives of other people. Those were my priorities back in the day. Now my priorities and the things that I think about the most are the moments, right? And then really enjoying and embracing the journey, especially for me being a dad. My son's going to be 5 years old and at the end of this month. And I really look at this opportunity over these next 5 years to 7 years, what I've heard before it becomes a teenager, to spend a lot of quality time with him. And so I've created my life in such a way that I have that freedom and I have that opportunity to be in those moments. And that's come from a lot of planning. That's come from a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, and a lot of perseverance to do things in the moment where I didn't feel like it. I'm the no excuses coach. So when you think about it, the number one excuse that I've been hearing lately is people say, I just don't feel like it. I just wish I felt like it. Well, that's the problem, is that sometimes we put the cart in front of the horse and we think about, okay, when I feel like it, then I'll do something. But when we think about breaking patterns and we think about resetting our foundation, numero uno, we have to really realize and accept the fact that what we're doing to ourselves is we're joking ourselves. So first and foremost, I want you guys to get honest and real with where you're at. And that starts by asking yourself this question: am I happy with my job and my employment and the things that I'm doing to create income? Am I happy doing those? Am I fulfilled doing those? Do I wake up excited every single day to get to do what it is that I do? And then the second part of that equation is, am I happy with who I'm doing it with? Not only just yourself, but the people that are in your life. Because so often we sit there and we put up with either I've got a great home life and a shitty work life, or I've got a great work life and a shitty home life. So we spend so much time at work and we spend so much time running away from the truth. So when you think about resetting foundations, you think about having a truly kick-ass year, you have to realize and get real with the truth. If you're not happy in a situation in an area of your life, you can't blame anybody else but yourself. You have to turn that mirror back on yourself. Scott's here. Scott and I talk about this all the time. The mirror. Put the mirror up to yourself and ask yourself, am I being honest with myself and the things that I'm doing? Or am I being what we say, is, am I being mediocre? Am I tolerating? What other things am I doing that potentially are holding me back from being honest with myself? Because we were watching a new show. Oh, Ted Lasso. If you guys haven't seen Ted Lasso, I'm not much of a TV watcher, but my wife said, you need to see this. And I was like, I really don't have time for a TV show or whatever. She goes, no, I think you'd like it. So I watched one of the episodes and I was like, oh yeah, it was really cool. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's a great opportunity about life and so many cool things that are going on in it. But in that process, that they say you got to get real. You got to get real with yourself and you have to get truthful, because if you continue to lie to yourself, then you're going to continue to repeat the same behaviors and the same patterns. So why not take this opportunity between now and the beginning of next year, 2022, and write down what it is that possibly you're avoiding? That's a great question to ask yourself, is what am I avoiding? What truth am I avoiding? Whether it's my marriage, whether it's myself, whether it's, life in general, whatever it might be, what lies am I telling myself that I could stop telling myself today and take responsibility, take ownership from where I'm at? Because unless we do that, unless we become truly, truly aware, and then we realize there's an opportunity to have regret or to really not fulfill our soul contract obligation here in life, what is that going to create? That's going to create more misery. And when we create that misery, what do? We want to run from that. We want to go to short-term gratifications. We want to bury our head in the sand. We want to surround ourselves with people who will tell us how great we are, even though we're not that great. I did that for a lot of years, but until I got real and I got truthful, like, okay, now I need a coach. Now I need a mastermind. I need people that are going to be there to tell me the honest truth about what it is that I'm doing, because without the honest truth with ourselves or with other people in our life, how can we expect to truly, truly change? And what that really means is the fact that we're avoiding pain. Yeah, actually, Melody just said it right here. I saw it. Avoidance is usually not wanting to deal with the pain point in one's life. Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. But here's the thing. It's never going to go away, guys. It's never going to go away. The pain is never going to go away. We can bury it down. We compartmentalize it. But until you unpack that bitch and you get real with it and you change your perspective about that, that's one thing I really want to hammer home tonight, is the fact that we have to change our perspectives. We have to change our belief systems about the fundamental reasons why we're here. If pain was bad, then I would ask you the question, tell me about a time in your life when things were so awesome that you learned so many different lessons. And you'd be like, well, when things are good, I'm mostly grateful and everything else, but it's during the bad times, Chris, it's during the painful times that I really learn and grow the most. So that being said, how about we shift our perspective to say, you know what, although I don't enjoy pain, the sooner I recognize that once I stand up to that pain and once I go through that, it no longer has a hold on me. See, right now, all of us, including myself, are walking around with pain. We're walking around the pain of regret. We're walking around with the pain of anger, of resentment about our past situations that have happened to us. When we sit there and we take that victim mindset, you know what? We have to accept responsibility that what happened to us, like for me being beat by my mom, being homeless and all that other stuff, that happened for me. And if I didn't have the perspective to say that happened for me, then guess what? I would be a victim. And guess what? I would be blaming. So a part of that awareness, the action, the awareness, the acceptance, and the action that I was talking about before, the awareness is okay, saying, listen, my life was fucked up. The acceptance in that is to not blame and pontificate about, what should have been done and could have been done. It's like, okay, it is what it is. It was what it was. But now what it is that I'm going to do with this? How am I going to take my trash and make this my treasure? How am I going to sit there and decide that I'm going to go through 13 years of hell to go back to school, to get a master's degree, to gain the opportunity for myself to become stronger, to go through that hell? I did. I literally was a seventh. For those of you guys who haven't watched me, and maybe there's some new people watching right now, I was a 7th grade homeless dropout. And I was not told I was smart. I was not a very intelligent person. But at the age of 17 years old, my mentor told me, he goes, Chris, you got to go back to school. And so I was like, are you crazy? And I went back to school, and that was hard. And I had to deal with the pain of doing homework and grinding it out and not going out and partying and doing all those things with my friends, because I wanted to be able to realize how great I could possibly be. So I dealt with that pain. I dealt with that pain of doing homework and putting myself out on the line and getting better and stronger and getting tutors and be able to graduate on my master's degree and ultimately look back and sit there and I've inspired so many people for that. But I went through that pain. I went through the pain of sitting there recognizing that I had to go through this. I had to grow through this. And along that way, part of that pain was wishing people well who didn't support me. So there was a lot of pain, but guess what? Once I walked down that aisle and I got my master's degree and I turned my tassel, all of that pain was worth it. All of that pain was worth it, because it really wasn't pain. It was growth. It was growth, and it was opportunity. So if you're running from pain, if you're running from opportunity, if you're running from the things that actually can challenge you, then I'm sorry, but you're going to ultimately regret that. You're going to ultimately regret that. I'm working with a few coaching clients right now. They're in their 40s and their 50s, and they're exactly like I was. They're comfortably miserable, and they're recognizing the fact that time is very infinite. Think about it, guys. Think about it. Think about where you were 5 years ago. Think about what you were doing 5 years ago. Think about what you were doing 10 years ago. Think about what you were doing 20 years ago. I'm hearing my friends right now, like, I can't believe it's been 30 years since my high school graduation. And I'm like, are you where you wanted to be, where you thought you were going to be? Oh, no. And they get all bummed out. I'm like, well, now's the opportunity for us to kick it into gear. No matter where you're at in your journey, right now is this place where you can sit there and recognize, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to change what it is. I'm going to change the old belief patterns that I have. And one of the ways you could do that when you're thinking about your past is have empathy and forgiveness for the people that supposedly wronged you. Because might you be the same person that they were had you gone through the similar experiences? And again, having that perspective mind shift, when I think about the things that happened with my mom and the things that happened with all the different people in my life, I could easily write a book about victimhood. But listen, guys, I'm sitting here today with a beautiful, beautiful life. Go on my social media. I have a 40-foot trailer that I went camping in. I'm coaching, I'm speaking, I'm writing books, I'm being a dad. I've got an amazing home. I've got an amazing wife, an amazing set of friends, an amazing impact. But I've busted my ass, and it's taken me a lot of pain and a lot of opportunity to shift my perspectives of being that and sitting there going through those challenging times. Back in my early 30s, dealing with potential alcoholism, there was a lot of pain right there. So I decided one day, you know what, I'm not going to jeopardize killing somebody. I'm not going to jeopardize losing my wife. I'm not going to jeopardize losing my job or anything else. I'm going to have to deal with whatever it is that I'm running from. And so I got therapy. I went to a psychiatrist. I went on antidepressants. I did all these different things and I went through that pain. But guess what? It taught me that I was responsible for being the victim that I was being and running away from my situations and just to be me and being vulnerable, right? We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to deal with that. But that's where the magic happens. I want to capture some of these comments right here. Melody. Whoa, what's up, Melody? Say what's up. Scott says, see you Friday. Love you, brother. Going to chill with the daughter before going to bed. Thank you, Scott, for being here. Yep, we got our show, The Unfiltered Experience, on Friday. So thank you, brother, for being here. Again, amazing people in my life that constantly teach me and tell me the truth about when I'm fucking up or tell me the truth where I need to focus on. So yes, Melody says, AK, it's a major detox, lemon and ginger tea. If you can use honey, that too. AK, Alaska? What does that mean? No, thank you. Yes, I love that. Melody says here, 2021 opportunities, and I learned to own the mistakes. And they're not even mistakes, they're opportunities because we didn't know any better. If I tell people, if I ask you the question, do you learn from your mistakes, yes or no? Most people say yes, I do. And I'm like, okay, we'll go make more. And they look at me like, what? It's that perspective. It's that perspective about something else I've been hearing lately that I've been shifting people's perspective on. Oh, it's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. Okay. If you put your mind in that state and you build that picture, if you build that framework for, yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's only hard if you choose for it to be hard. Let me just say that again. It's only hard if you choose for it to be hard. If you have the perspective like, man, I'm super excited about getting up at 5 o'clock. I know it's going to be challenging, but man, I'm so excited to see who I'm going to become as a result of that. See, it's about shifting your perspective. That's what I do, ladies and gentlemen. As your No Excuses coach, is I shift perspectives. That's something I'm going to be doing in my 6-month group coaching program that starts January 11th. So if you're interested in that, let me know. 6-month group coaching program. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff that I'm talking about in here and so much more, but this isn't about sales. This is about talking to you guys. So what else we got? Melody says, recognizing and saying what I want, then come up with a simple plan to learn and grow from that mistake. Yes. I mean, that's what it truly is. It's truly about recognizing that, it's up to us. It's nobody's going to come and save you. I hear people like, oh, I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that. I'm like, they're playing the someday game. What are your excuses and what it is that you're waiting for has to come from within. It has to come from when you wake up in the morning, when you set the intention that you're no longer going to tolerate mediocrity, when you're not going to tolerate, any bullshit that's coming on in your life. One of the great exercises that you can do for yourself prior to 2022 is take out a piece of paper and just write down what you're tolerating from yourself and what you're tolerating from other people and what you're tolerating from any area of your life that you would like to recognize, and start looking at those things and saying, why am I tolerating that? What beliefs, what patterns have I set up in my mind that I have to continue to tolerate what it is that person does, or what it is that person doesn't do, or what it is that I do or don't do? Then start picking those things out, because without a plan, we said it before up here, without a plan, then what are you shooting for? What are you shooting for? Every single day when I think about when you have to go somewhere, I would go on and I would figure out the directions and I would review those directions. I'd make sure those directions are right. But yet we go off into life aimlessly. We never write down our goals. We sit there and we have them in our head. But here's what happens. Life goes by. And that's the thing that's stripping me the fuck out right now is I'm 52. I'm going to be 53 in February. And up until this point in my life, I always thought there was so much more time. And I always thought there was going to be time to do this and time to do this. But now my perspective is like, there really is no time. There is the moments that we have right now. So when are you going to take yourself seriously? When are you going to get off your ass and stop with the bullshit excuses? Oh, I don't feel like it. I don't know enough. I don't have enough money. Whatever it is, it's that you don't want it bad enough. End of story. Mic drop. Here, see, mic drop. You don't want it bad enough. And I have to tell myself again, looking in the mirror, Chris, how bad do you want it? It's been 2 years since I've been out of corporate. My book is not done. Transparency, baby. There's been a lot of other things that I said was going to be done and it is not done. So how bad do I want it? And trust me, I've had those conversations because, ultimately we have to get serious about that because the leverage of regret is way better than the leverage of playing someday. Oh, someday when I feel like it's like, no, every single day you need to pick out whatever it is most important to you and check it off the list and check it off the list and check it off. You got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And if you're not hungry about it, then ask yourself why it is that you think it's important. What is it? Maybe it's covering something else up that's in your life. But ultimately for me, when I wrote my eulogy and I came home that one day and I wrote it out and I said, Christopher Rausch will have fought for what was right and what was fair. He will have risked for which that mattered. And he will have left the earth a better place for who he was and what he did. And then you back that up by waking up every single day and setting the intention to fulfill that legacy. Guess what happens? Over time, you build that legacy. But the problem with what's going on today in today's world is everybody like, oh, I need it tomorrow. I need it right now. How long did it take you to get this screwed up? 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, 40 years? It's going to take time. It's going to take an investment. It's going to take a financial investment. It's going to take a physical investment. It's going to take a mental investment. It's going to take a spiritual investment. God only knows if it's going to take a sexual investment. I don't know. But when you think about this, and this is the question I also want you to really, really consider out of this broadcast tonight. I was working with a coaching client the other day, and I said this, and it really got them. So it made me think about it tonight. Are you willing to pay? Are you willing to pay now or pay later? Right? I had somebody telling me the other day, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And I said, so you're going to kill yourself now, and then you're going to have time later, and then you're going to try to repair yourself so that you're better, so that you can enjoy the rest of your life. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Well, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, so what is it that you're saying? Ask yourself, am I willing to pay now or pay later? I would much rather pay money out of my pocket right now and have a coach and figure out how I'm going to pay for that than pay later and sit there and recognize as I look down at my hands that I'm 78 years old, realizing all the different chances and the risks that I never took to really live truly at my unstoppable kick-ass best. Or are you willing to pay later? Oh man, I should have done that. You know what? It was really stupid that I cared about what so many people thought and now they're fucking dead or they don't care about me or whatever. We're always constantly worried about what everybody else thinks. So we're constantly worried about, oh, what am I going to piss them off? Or did it? You're the only fucking person that matters. You, me. I mean, of course we have to think about everybody else in our life. Yes. But ultimately when you're dying, you're not going to have any other conversation but the conversation you have with yourself. And you're going to look back on your life and you're like, oh my God. And here's the thing. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We all think that we're going to live forever, but we're not. We're not. And I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you right now. I go back and I watch these episodes often because I know that there's a lot of truth in what I say because it's just coming from the heart. It is raw and unscripted. So when I go back and I watch these things, I'm like, man, I really am talking to myself. It's kind of cool. Jordan says here, and thank you guys for being live or on the replay. I appreciate you guys. Chime in, say hello. Let me know that you're here. I see we got some people watching. Sometimes this watching thing, like I've checked it out. Sometimes it's on Facebook. It's one thing. On LinkedIn, it's another thing. On YouTube, it's another thing. But Jordan says, it's my work life for me. I'm staying where I currently am until something else comes along. Until something else comes along or until you create it. Think about that. I'm waiting until something else comes along or I am creating what is going to come along next. Yes. Melody says here, it makes you feel so good. You and I are a lot in many ways. I got my GED and went straight to college, got a master's degree, and now I'm well on my way to where I want to be. I am so close. Rock on, Melody Johnson. I'm so thankful for you to be here and to gauge. And I love it. I love it. Jock is in the house, or John, as he's called here on Facebook. He says, you are an inspiration, bro. So are you, man. So are you. I mean, and again, let me just diverge into that for a second. Who do you surround yourself with? If you haven't heard me talk about this, Jesus Christ. And I say a lot of the same things over and over again because I want to say them in different ways that you finally go, Oh, now I get it. Now I get it. He's been beating me up on the side of the head because life is simple. So when you think about who you're around the most, who's your team, who's your six, who are the 5 people you're around the most? Are they positive? Do they tell you the truth? Do they empower you? Do you trust them? Are they mentors? You know, you sit there, go down the acronym of team, but are there fucking people in your life that push you? That tell you, you know what, go sell your fucking furniture, dude, and get a coach and get somebody who's going to help you. Go out there and go to back to school. Go do something. Go take responsibility for yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think about life like this, and I know we're all souls here having a human existence. And I think about, you know, that soul contract that we're here to fulfill. And I think about it getting to the end of that, of the end of the story, and realizing that Christopher Rausch could have done and been so much more. I could have impacted billions of people instead of just thousands of people. I could have done these. I could have finished books. I could have written screenplays. I could have done all these beautiful things to impact people. But yet I played the someday game, or I didn't necessarily feel like it. What is that going to be for you? And when you surround yourself with the right people and you see people that are better, stronger, and more capable and more successful than you, it's not about jealousy. It's about R&D. Rob and duplicate. If somebody else has done it or doing it, find out how they're doing it. There's no secrets anymore in the world. We have the internet. People sit there and say, I don't know. Oh, I don't know how. It blows my mind. I had somebody that actually turned down as a coaching client because I could tell they were so much in the victim status. They wanted to hire me as a coach. They wanted me to fix them, and they really didn't want to do any of the work. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. Because I said, why do you think you're in the situation where you're in? And part of it, a lot of it was health and everything else. And like, well, I just don't know how to cook healthy. And I said, how do you suppose you would learn? Well, you know, I just don't like it, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how's that working out for you? Well, it really isn't. Well, how bad do you want to shift it on a scale of 1 to 10? Ooh, I've never been asked that before. I don't know, maybe like a 6 or a 7. I guess it should probably be at 8 or 9. No, it should be a fucking 11. How bad do you want to change? How bad do you want to change? On a scale of 1 to 10, ask yourself and be honest. And there's no number 7. We often go to number 7 because we're like, well, it's a little bit over halfway, but it's not quite the greatest. Fuck 7. Fuck 7. It should be a 9 or a 10. Life should be a 9 or a 10 for you. Okay. Think about that. Jordan says here, he says, aiming to secure another position by next month. We'll be sure to expound more Thursday. Would love it. Love it. Love it. If you guys have questions for me about where it is that you're in life, pop them into the comments. I mean, this is your opportunity to work directly with me right now. I can answer any questions, any situations that you might have going. What's got you stuck? What's holding you back? Mary Kay says here, thank you, Mary Kay, for being here. I appreciate you so much. She says the quote, I love, nothing changes until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change. Ooh. Let me repeat that for you guys on the podcast. Nothing changes until the pain of staying the same outweighs the pain of change. So beautiful. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. That's by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And here's the other thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're supposed to be learning a lesson, whatever lesson, and I believe we're all supposed to be here learning lots of lessons. If you're running away from that lesson will stay and will get louder and louder and louder until you wake the fuck up and you start learning what it is that you're supposed to be doing about that. Like I did a podcast, I think it was earlier this year, it was called Signposts and whatnot. It was all dedicated to the fact that how many different nudges and things that we get throughout our life in different situations that we go, oh yeah. And then something happens, you're like, oh my God. You know, me leaving corporate was a blessing, was the perfect opportunity at the perfect time. But had I not prepared for that, that would have been a huge signpost to say, oh, Chris, you should have been working on your coaching and your speaking all this time, which I was. I've been doing it for over 20 years while I was still in corporate. So I was building my legacy plan. I was building my jumping off point way ahead of whatever is that was going on. So yeah, Mary Kay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. You've been amazing lately. And I just really love and appreciate all you guys. You guys are my misfits for life. Melody says you're boom. Larry Schneider in the house. What's up, Rockstar? Good to see you. Angel says here, procrastination is a bitch. Why do we procrastinate? Because we're running, we're avoiding, you know, and sometimes it's the fear, you know, there's another thing that we could talk about is the fear of the dream in our head. This is something I was thinking about myself, that the dream in our head of what it is that we want to accomplish. Like for me, one of my big dreams is to live on the beach. Right. So I want to live on the beach. I want to wake up and I want to smell the ocean. I want to hear the ocean. For me, that's one of my biggest goals is to go live by the beach or near the beach or on the beach or something like that. And I think about all the different ways that I'm going to do it. And so I've got it all planned in my head, but then there's an aspect of me like, well, if I really go for it and I don't make it, then I'll be really super bummed. But as long as I have the dream in my head, as long as I'm kind of going for it, this is where we call ourselves on our bullshit. This is where we get really truthful with ourselves. This is where we have people like Scott in your life and people like Jock in your life who tell you when you're screwing up, right? What is the truth? Everything in life is about a lesson. And when you sit there and you have the perspective, like, I'm going to be kick-ass unstoppable, whatever's going to come my way, I know I'm not going to enjoy it. I know it's going to be challenging, but on the other side of that, I get to help other people go through that. Right? Think about that. Think about that. Ultimately, also, what example are you setting for other people? I just had some amazing conversations this week with some people that have been considering coaching, and we were talking about them and their kids and the examples that they're setting for their kids. And they were kind of unaware, which surprised me, of the example that they were setting to their daughter about what it is that they were doing in their marriage. And I'm like, so you're basically telling your daughter it's okay to stay with a guy who's X, Y, and Z. No. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about the efforts. Tell me about the actual efforts that you've been doing with trying to reshape that incongruent message that you're trying to send. And so ultimately, there were tears involved. There were tears, there was like finally the truth broke through of this is the lie that she was telling herself. And this is, so ultimately she told me that the secret wish and the secret prayer that she says about everything, working out and ultimately being fine, when in actuality, on a scale of 1 to 10, she knows it's never going to be that way. So again, why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we lie to ourselves, expecting ourselves to buy it? Just fucking decide. Just decide you're done. Decide with mediocrity. Decide you're over with mediocrity. Decide you're over with complacency. Decide you're over with all that other stuff. And just make the promise to yourself. Make one promise to yourself that each action and each decision that you make is going to serve the best interest of ultimately what the legacy is that you are here to fulfill. So again, when I set the intention in the morning, and I did this today, God's honest truth, I got up with the intention of, here, I'm going to be productive and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and simple intentions. But halfway through the day, my brain started going all over the place. And I don't know if it's daylight savings time, getting darker earlier, but I started getting negative. And then I stopped myself. Again, we have the ability to stop ourselves in any moment. Sometimes I say, snap a wristband or something like that. I'm like, Chris, are you fulfilling the intention that you set this morning? Yes or no? No. Okay, why are you thinking about this? What's the deeper meaning by this? Where is this coming from? Okay, it's coming from fear. Okay, why? And I just started asking the question, why? And it was more me of a poor me story that I really ultimately got down to. I'm like, Chris, where is this coming from? Right? A little bit of jealousy, a little bit of this. I'm like, no. Let's reframe where it is that we're doing. Is this fulfilling my intention to leave a kick-ass legacy? No. Okay, what beliefs do I need to change right now in the moment? What exercises can I do right now in the moment to shift what it is that's not working for me, because it's only me. So can you imagine how differently your life would change if you had the tools to be able to catch yourself in those moments where you're not being congruent and you're like, oh, okay, what is that I can do? Because the sooner you learn to be aware, again, having that awareness, the second part of that is the acceptance responsibility for that you're going to accept responsibility to change it and not blame, because that's a fork in the road. You sit there and say, okay, I accept that I'm like this, but it's my dad's fault and it's my mom's fault and it's society's fault and it's my tooth fairy's fault or whatever it is like that. Then you're not going to get anywhere. So again, the awareness and then the acceptance to take responsibility for where you're at and do the work, and then do the work, make the commitment, right? I don't feel like it. Do you not feel like it? But you're going to feel like the result. Think about it again. Anything you've done challenging in your life, whether it's a mud run, whether it's a hike, whether it's a bike ride, whatever it is that you've done challenging physically, once you get to the end and once you get to the goal and the place of wherever the view is, aren't you happy you did it? Yes. Like, just we were saying like this, when you get your master's degree, aren't you happy you did it? Absolutely. When you go through it, no, I don't know. Sandy Archer's in the house. What's up, Sandy? She says, hi, Christopher. Great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. What's on your mind, Sandy? Let's see what you got going on in your brain. Let's share that out. Melody says here, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired and quit my job. Damn, quit your job. I love it. So you burn the boats. Again, if you guys haven't heard me talk about it, Steve Harvey, Jump, the video Jump, go watch it. It's amazing what it'll do for you. So she said it was the best freedom feeling I ever had. Right. Yeah. Go watch Jump. That's amazing. Here she says also, just for you guys that are listening on the podcast, she says, I had no money on starting my company. I failed a lot too, but I also saw what success was for me. And I also made sure that I invested in myself. That investment looks different for everyone, but I started off with reading every day, the right things that I can use to make other investments as well. You took responsibility. I listened to the book. I was sitting there actually having a bad day, not a bad day, but I sat there and I brought out my Audible and I listened to Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness. I listened to most of the book again today, and man, Braving the Wilderness. We have the resources and the responsibility to accept what it is that's not working for us and change it. Right. But you got to do it in the moment. You got to be aware of that and stop doing that stuff. Because ultimately, for me, when I think about this overall discussion, And this is something that I want you to ask yourself. Ask yourself, what are my boundaries? What are my boundaries? What are my boundaries? What am I willing to let people do to me, say to me? What are my boundaries with myself? Again, talk about it in the beginning of the show. What are my values? There's a lot of different exercises we're going to be doing in this 6-month group coaching program that are going to be specifically designed to get you to change the way it is that you're looking about your situation, give you tools and resources to be able to shift that and to continue through this program to be able to ultimately come out kick-ass unstoppable. That's why I wanted it 6 months. I don't want to work with somebody just for a little bit, give them a taste. Now they go, okay, this is the all-inclusive enchilada. So if you want to check it out, just go to my website, ChristopherRausch.com. It's in the group coaching page. We got new stuff coming on for that. If you're interested in that, I'm only going to, and actually for the benefit of you guys watching this is for the raw and unscripted audience only. If you decide to do the group coaching program, I will start taking care of you this year. The program starts January 11th, but I will start taking you as soon as you sign up and pay. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to get your plan started. I'm going to have you work with me. We're going to be in a private group. I want this program. This program will be my legacy. God forbid anything happens, because I've been building this new program for probably about 4 or 5 years. I really haven't done a group coaching program in a while because I wanted to create one that was basically soup to nuts, whatever it's going to take you to get to the other side so that you are successful. Because I don't believe in having to go through coaching and programs and books and books. No, what I have created is you literally have to fucking lie to yourself out loud not to be successful out of this program. So that's what's up with that. Dave, what's up, Dave? He says, what's up, handsome? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. It's been a minute. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you, man. So what kind of questions do you guys have for me? What's up, Robert? He says, howdy, Christopher and all. Let's see. Melody says here, I can't recommend that for the faint of heart, but I was at a point of desperation to escape the drift of life. Sometimes you got to burn the boats, and think about that. As a human species, we used to have to fight for our survival. We used to have to be, all those different, we used to have to make those decisions and be able to jump, but now it's all about being comfortable. And the sooner you realize the nuggets in life, the beauty of life is that it's in doing what's uncomfortable. If you guys haven't heard of the guy, David Goggins, go check out his book. I studied him for about 6 months before I had back surgery in January of 2019, because I wanted to get my brain into that mindset of, okay, what is pain and what is my perspective about pain? And pain is a good thing because ultimately it is, right? So sometimes when you make those harsh decisions and you get honest with yourself, you have a conversation with your spouse, you have a conversation with your coworker, you have a conversation with whoever it is. Once you say those words and you get it out, the freedom, the release, of course, there's going to be anxiety and everything else but once it's out, that's progress. Once you say it out loud, I'm no longer in love with my husband, whatever it might be. Once you say that out loud, you set in motion the vibrational energy for the universe to sit there and say, okay, we're going to bring you what's next. And as long as you have that mindset of like, bring it, right? What does that tattoo say? Tattoo. What doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. What doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. I tattooed it on my forearm, guys. That's why I'm successful. Not because of the tattoo, because my mindset every single day was, what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. Every day is a new day. What doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. And being responsible and taking action and becoming resourceful in my own plan has resulted in my life being what it is. And it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. It'll never be perfect. I have lots of opportunities, lots of challenges that I still need to face, that I'm continuing to face, where I'm looking at plant-based medicine, ayahuasca, mushrooms, acid, all these different things to figure out what it is that I need to unlock next to become that next version of myself. And that's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to have this curiosity like we did when we were kids. Like, what's next? What do I get to keep learning? How do I get to keep growing? Because here's the thing, if you're fortunate to get older in life, you're going to deal with a lot of fucked up shit. You're going to deal with your parents dying. You're going to deal with your sisters and brothers dying. You're dealing with friends dying. You're going to deal with a lot of stuff. You're going to deal with your own health. God forbid your health is going to change. Everything you're doing right now or avoiding right now is either preparing you for what's next or is going to be a rude awakening for what's next. So there's no way we don't get to a point in our life where we retire like we're told in school, like, oh, one day you get to be in this place where everything's all set and you don't have to learn anymore and it's all easy and you just get to enjoy shit. So now we're going to do that when we're 75. Okay. So now I'm going to 75. I'm going to retire. I'm 52 right now and I'm pretty good shape, but the pain and the inflammation that I have going on in my body and different things that are happening, it kind of frightens me. So what it's doing is it's creating more leverage now than ever to get shit done now. So maybe I might not be in a great way in 20 years. I'm going to look back on this time like, man, I'm glad I hustled at 52. It's all about being curious and being excited about the growth opportunity of what is it that we go through. And if the people that are around you, those 5 people, think it's stupid for you to go to school, think it's stupid for you to get a coach, think it's stupid for you to do 75 hard, think it's stupid for you to read 10 pages a day, those people aren't for you. Those people are mirrors of their own selves that they don't want to face. And guess what? When you start taking responsibility and action for your life, those people do one of two things. They either get their shit together or you have to wish them well. Truth. I said it before. When are you going to get truthful with your situation in your life? When are you going to get honest about your health? Do you take care of yourself? Do you love yourself? Yes or no? Do I love myself? Yes or no? Well, if you say for the most part, that's where you start, right? Because if you don't love yourself, if you don't take care of enough of yourself, are you hydrating? You get your water. And this may sound like fucking remedial stuff, but ladies and gentlemen, 32 ounces. I drink 4 of these a day. It's a gallon. Guess what? I'm a 200. Well, I'm not 200 anymore, but drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Your body's like 70 or 80% water. So if you're dehydrated, if you're not drinking water every single day, hydrating yourself, making sure you're nourished, make sure your electrolytes are up. How efficient, how effective is your brain and your body going to work for you? 60%, 70%. Some people may, 70% is pretty good. What would it be like if it was 100%? What would it feel like if it was 95%? Your choices are ultimately creating the outcomes that you get. So, I don't like water. Well, guess what? I use Propel. I use the shit out of Propel packets. I'm not much of a water person either, but I drink 4 of them every single day. I feel good. My skin's glowing. Look at my skin. My skin's glowing, right? Hydration. How much sleep are you getting? I have an Aura Ring. Aura Ring. This is the sleep tracker. I can't take it off right now. Sleep tracker. So I'm getting hydration, checking out my sleep, making sure, when I eat sugar late at night, my deep sleep goes to crap and I wake up feeling like crap the next morning. If I have any kind of sugar or so I know what screws up my sleep. I know that my exercise enhances my sleep. So if I want a really good night's sleep, stay the fuck away from food, sugar, anything past 7 o'clock, get exercise during the day, stay hydrated, go to bed, listen to my binaural beats. I get a great night's sleep. I wake up, I set the intention, I go through, and I question myself when I'm not being congruent. Ta-da! Ladies and gentlemen. And then food choices. Like I said at the beginning, I was dead ass honest. I've been eating like crap. I was on 75 hard. I did it. I felt amazing. But then we go back off into the other thing where we start to self-sabotage ourselves, right? I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do this. And I'm being honest. So again, we have to take responsibility for where it is that we're at and what we're doing every single moment of every single day to be in line and be congruent with our ultimate legacy. And I'm not saying don't have fun. I'm not saying you have to sit there and be, maniacal about everything that you're doing. But the core foundation, like I said, foundation resetting. Do I love myself? Yes or no? Am I pouring love into myself? Am I treating myself as though I would treat somebody who I love? Right? I would do anything for that person. Would you do anything for yourself? Would you do what Melody did? Would you do that for yourself? If you knew you would never fail, what would you do? Because again, the failing isn't the falling down. The failing is the staying down. But we get so caught up in the fear of mistakes, the fear of judgment. What will they say? Fuck it. Go for it. Go for it. This is your life to be lived, not to be existing in. Not to be existing in. This is a short game, man. I was watching Jurassic World the other day. How long ago were dinosaurs on the earth? Was it 75 million years ago or something like that? I don't know. It was. We're here for a nanosecond. What's going on? We got some more comments here. I don't want to miss you guys. I love you guys. You guys are my misfits for life. I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to think of whatever else though I was going to talk about tonight because there's so much different stuff. Robert says comfortable. What's that? Absolutely. And I get that way too. I go, it's comfortable. Sometimes we get tired of the grind. I had somebody else tell me that recently. Well, actually I've had a few people tell me this recently. Like, well, I'm just tired, Chris. I keep learning my lessons and I keep going for it. And I just feel, I just want to get there. I just want The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. The hero's journey. It's called Finding Joe. That's what it is. It's about an hour and 13 minutes. It talks about that hero's journey. It talks about the fact that we're going to go through challenging situations in our life, but that's where we grow and learn the most. So again, if you want a resource, go watch that. And maybe you might need to watch that once a week. I've watched it 3 times now. And every time I watch it, I get re-inspired. Like, yes, Chris, like listening to Brene Brown today, Braving the Wilderness, all of these little bitty pieces, the books I'm reading. I mean, I didn't even get into the books I'm reading. I'm constantly filling my head full of knowledge and belief systems to change what it is that's not working for me, because I'm not perfect like everybody else. No, I'm normal, just like everybody else. I just have a lot of tools and a lot of experience in getting to where it is that I need to go. And I've helped thousands of people do it, as well as coaching clients over the last 20 plus years. So definitely, if you're interested and you're ready to do it, let's work together. So Mary Kay says, leaning into discomfort. That's a great message. Yeah. You just not even leaning into it. Just go for it. Just go for it. What would it be like if you just sat there and said, you know what, I'm going to take the biggest thing that I've been putting off and that I don't feel like doing, and I'm going to fucking crush it. What would you feel like? Like if you suddenly went on a workout program or an eating program and you said, you know what, for the next 6 months, I'm going to fucking be great on this. I'm going to crush this. Just imagine how great you would feel at the other end of that, and how potentially that might be the new way of life for you. That's what I'm considering. I'm actually considering like a 75 hard lifestyle. Like maybe I won't have sugar anymore. Maybe I'll have sugar once a month. Maybe I'll have alcohol once a month. But other than that, my intention is to stay kick-ass unstoppable. So I'm being incongruent if I'm not doing that. And so those are the conversations I've been having in my head. It's like, Chris, hey, what is it you're going to do? What is it you want to really accomplish in your life? Because trust me, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do in life. So yes, well, I'm pretty cool. And it says, Robert says, you are pretty cool in my books, Christopher. Well, Robert, I thank you. It's about the people I surround myself with. It's about waking up and being honest and using everything that I've been through in my life, raw and unscripted, to come to you guys every single week and bring this stuff to you, whether it's on this show, the other show, whether it's in Clubhouse, whatever it is that I'm doing or saying. My intention every single day is that I get to impact you guys, to change, think about differently what it is that you're doing in order to have those different results. So ultimately we can continue to do what we've always done and to continue to get what we've always got. There's another quote for you. Or we can sit there and break the cycle of insanity and decide really that this is where the shit show ends. And nobody else can decide that except for yourself. Nobody else can decide that for you. And usually what happens is there's a we've talked about it before, where we hit bottom. And do you think if that's what you're waiting for, if you're waiting to hit bottom, then guess what? Create bottom now. Create the bottom right now. Pull the bottom out from under yourself. What is it you could do by which doing so would create massive growth and opportunities in your life? What about it? John says here, spiritual discomfort is the catalyst to spiritual growth. Yes. Get real with yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Get real. Get raw. Get vulnerable. Angel says here, cold pool therapy. 3 deep breaths and dive in. Amen, Angel. Amen. We've already been going for 47 minutes. I was going to actually do this a short one. Mary Kay, nice. Set the bar high so that you can walk under it. Ooh, my peeps. You guys are amazing. So let's think about this. Recap here. Resetting your foundations. Let's start with the top. Let's surrender and let go of what's no longer working for us. What are your beliefs? What is the self-talk that you give yourself every single day? Would that self-talk work for me? Like if you said what you said to yourself and you said it in front of me, would I go, hey, that's a good job, Mary Kay. That's a good job, Angel. That's a good job, John. So again, catch yourself in the language that you use with yourself. Oh, I'm so stupid. I always fuck things up. No, I'm constantly in a state of learning and I'm growing and I don't continue to fuck things up because I learned from that. So again, changing what it is that you're saying to yourself and surrendering and letting go of old beliefs and old identities, right? Just be you. Get in touch with you. Journaling is a great opportunity. Start journaling. Get in touch with who it is that you want to be and who you want to be remembered for, and start surrendering and letting go all of the past mistakes, all the past failures, because you're here today. You're here today to be able to sit there and say, you know what? Now I choose to arm up. Now I choose to sit there and say, okay, this is whatever's happened in my life has prepared me for where it is that I'm at today. What am I going to do? How am I going to take responsibility to move that forward? How am I going to stop what I'm tolerating? How am I going to shift my boundaries? How am I going to be congruent with my values? How am I going to create a legacy every single day that I wake up and it's not perfect? How am I going to create a legacy that I wake up and I sit there and say, you know what, in those times where I'm down or times I'm uncertain, here's what I'm going to do to change that. Here's the focus that I have. And for me, it's being a great dad. It's for leaving a legacy that my son will be proud of. So he can go on this show. If I die tomorrow, he can go back on the show and he can see all my comments. He can see what's going on and say, Dad lived his legacy. And trust me, there are points where I sit there and think, what would I tell Jackson, or what example am I setting Jackson? And man, I have to get real and truthful with that. It's like, are you really setting that example, Chris, or do you think you're setting that example? Because again, we mind fuck ourselves pretty damn good. Most definitely. And again, going back to that other question that I said before, am I willing to pay now or pay later? Especially with your health. Especially, I'm seeing people get sick. I'm seeing people get cancer. I'm seeing people get all sorts of different things. And guess what? All the bullshit that they worried about before goes away because they know me. And I'll be like, so how has this impacted your thought process about what you're focusing on? Fuck, Chris. they get real. I mean, people that I know that are super, super successful, have a lot of money, they get fucking real quick. And that's what I'm learning. And that's what I'm seeing, because I'm not ignoring that stuff. I'm like, ooh, what would I say right now if I got a phone call saying, hey, Chris, you have bone marrow cancer or something like that. You have this. Fuck. Write the book right now, Chris. I don't care if I have to stay awake until 3 o'clock in the morning. Start doing it. Leverage, ladies and gentlemen, leverage. But most importantly, have the right people in your life. Have the right people in your life. You are worth the investment to go to school, to get a coach, to do whatever it is. Get an accountability partner. Free. Find somebody who's going to hold your ass accountable that you can check in with once a week. I've got an accountability group that I'm going to be starting in 2022 as well. Affordable accountability group, just to make sure people are getting what they need to be doing. So there you have it. All right. So my challenge to you guys is to write your eulogy. I want you to write your eulogy, and I want you to send it to me. If you feel comfortable doing that, I would love to know what it is that you're living for, and that what you want to die for. What is it you want to be remembered for? How can I help you build that legacy that every single day that you wake up, you're excited about fulfilling that? You're excited about the opportunities for growth and the opportunities for challenge, right? Not everything's going to be easy, but here, what Les Brown says, I'll leave you with this one. When you do what's hard in life, life will be easy. When you try to do what's easy in life, life will be hard. So again, shift your perspective, shift your excuses, start giving yourself a chance, start speaking to yourself properly, and create the legacy that you want to be. All right, guys. Speaking of that, I'm going to go downstairs and spend time with my son and have a blast. I love each and every one of you. If you guys have not had the opportunity to speak with me one-on-one, here's my gift. No charge, no nothing. Book a complimentary coaching session with me. Bring one situation to the table. Let's talk about that. And I will leave you with strategies and opportunities that will help you for a super kick-ass 2022. And if it so happens that it works out that we can work together, whether it's in the group coaching program or one-on-one coaching, boom, even better. But I just would love to have that opportunity to have that conversation with you guys. So yes, thank you each and every one of you for being here. Angel says here, great talk, Christopher Rausch. Have a peaceful evening, everybody. Thank you, Angel, for being here. You're always such an amazing misfit for life. I love and appreciate you guys. Mary Kay, thank you so much for being here. John, Jock, Robert, all you guys. Here's my last question. What do you want to see here on the Raw and Unscripted show? What kind of guests? What kind of topics? What can I do? What kind of things can I bring to you that will keep you engaged, keep you sharing this stuff? Because I just want to continue to grow, continue providing the opportunities for you guys to connect. However I can help the people in your life, please let me know. That's my legacy. I love you guys. This is the Raw and Unscripted show. We'll be back next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Your place where I help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Have a great evening, everybody. I love you guys. Peace.